I'm going to say this now. It is time for people to stop being so scared of the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It is your host JD, and in this episode today, man, we've got to talk about the horrifying scenes coming out of England because it is going from bad to worse, and everybody can see that. We are seeing the terrifying consequences of political correctness, failed immigration, open borders, weak leadership, etc., etc. And I used to sit here and think, you know what, maybe in time things can get better. Maybe the UK as a whole will change. But I genuinely believe until the mindset of the people changes, nothing is going to happen. Until people sit there and go, you know what, I'm not scared of saying the truth any longer. I'm going to say it for what it is. Nothing is going to change. The change that everybody dreams of isn't going to happen. People are so scared of being called all of these buzzwords that they would rather say nothing and then the crime continues to happen. It is insanity. But I'll talk about that later on in the video because we have a lot to get through in this one. And before we do get into it, ladies and gentlemen, if you could, as always, make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video, comment on this video, and share this video around. So I think it's only right we start off with the horrific Huntingdon train attack. On November 1st, a mass stabbing took place on a train bound for London, which left from Peterborough, which then left 11 people injured. And look at this video footage right now. This was going around all over social media. People were seeing this and thinking, what is going on? What has happened? This is our country. These are the sort of scenes we're now seeing. And let's be honest right now. I need you to be honest with me. You watching, when you first heard about the news, I know you thought that it was a straight white man who went ahead and stabbed all of these people. No, you didn't. Nobody did. That's the state we're in. As soon as this happened, people were assuming, oh, it's a migrant, it's a radical Islamist, or it's a black person. And lo and behold, it was a black person. The Daily Mail report, British train knife man is pictured for the first time. Suspect 32 appears in court accused of train rampage that left 11 hurt and another attack in London hours earlier. Oh yeah, by the way, he committed a crime previously. Yet he was still allowed to be out and about. You know what he should have done? He should have posted something offensive on social media because they would have locked him up for longer. Welcome to the UK. But Anthony Williams, 32 of Peterborough, appeared at Peterborough Magistrates Court today charged with 11 counts of attempted murder. Williams is accused of attempting to kill a man after a passenger was stabbed at Pontoon Dock Docklands Light Railway Station in East London shortly after 12:45 AM on November 1st. Hours later, Williams is accused of going on a knife rampage on the high-speed service from Doncaster to London's King Cross, where he is accused of attempting to murder 10 other people. He is also facing 2 charges of possession of a bladed article on both the train and at the DLR station in London, and of assault occasioning actual bodily harm. And here he is being pictured for the very first time, once again, as everybody will say, diversity is our strength, right? Absolutely not. Now, what you're also going to see in the mainstream media, a lot of headlines will say, oh, a British national. They're doing that to try and make it seem like, oh, even though he was born here, he's a British national, we've got no problems. No, we do. On a national level. And being as a lot of people are too scared to say it because, oh, I don't want to be labelled as racist, it might be offensive, I don't want to upset anybody. Shut up. There is a clear problem, first and foremost, with the black community and knife crime. It is a fact. Again, everybody can see it, everybody knows it, but people are too scared to say it. And whilst you're too scared about upsetting somebody's feelings, not addressing the truth is actually leaving people hurt. People are actually getting hurt. And let's take a look at some of the facts because for people that don't live in the UK, this might shock you, and let's use London for an example. So a snowflake on X put out a post that says, racism is off the scale, alright mate, and attached an image of another post by Lucy White that said, black man stabbed natives on train in Cambridgeshire. We warned you about the stats time and time again. Black people make up 53% of knife crime in London, yet form 13% of London's population. Liberals have blood on their hands for their naivety and complicity, re-migration. What she said is the truth. The facts she presented are real. Somebody asked Rock, are these stats correct? And the response is, yes, the stats are correct. London Assembly data from 2022 confirms black Londoners comprise 53% of knife crime perpetrators, while the 2021 census shows they form only about 13% of the city's population. Overrepresentation in crime stats highlights underlying issues like poverty and family structure, which deserve honest analysis over denial. Yeah, well, apparently a lot of people have a huge case of denial. So just with that stat right there, you can see there is a clear problem. It is so obvious, even Stevie Wonder could see it, and that was in 2021. We're almost in 2026, so just imagine what it's like now. There is a clear problem with black people committing crimes. That is obvious to say. There is a clear problem with black people committing knife crime. There is a clear problem with people from different backgrounds failing to integrate with British society. I tell you now, people should not be scared to get on a train. People should not be scared to walk the street. People should not be scared to do their day-to-day things because they're worried about somebody hurting them. But they are, and if they weren't, after this attack that happened on the train, they are now. Crime is out of control. But apparently, for our government, that's not a big enough concern. No, they're more concerned with what? Ukraine, Palestine, screw them both. Screw them both. We got to worry about problems within our own country. Stop worrying about what's going on thousands of miles away, because realistically, we have bigger problems here. But they don't want to address it. Oh, focus on Ukraine. Oh, focus on Palestine. Nobody gives an F anymore. Nobody gives an F. The British people are suffering. It's time for things to change. And whilst the mainstream media, the woke liberals, politicians, whatever, will try and make it seem like this has nothing to do with immigration, I disagree. It has a lot to do with immigration, as this post goes on to say. Yes, the stabbing is about immigration. Britain needs to have an honest conversation about high degree of mental illness in certain ethnic communities. Oh, don't say that, that's too controversial. Black people are 4 times more likely to be detained under the Mental Health Act than whites. Black men are more likely to have had a psychotic disorder in the last year than white men. Black people are diagnosed with schizophrenia at a rate of approximately 2.4 to 4 times higher than white people. Asylum seekers have more mental health problems than the native population. British Pakistanis account for 3% of births, but 33% of children with genetic birth defects. Why are we importing so many people who are a risk to the safety of others, contribute hugely to antisocial behaviour on our streets, and are a burden on our failing mental health services? It appears to be one of the few remaining taboos no one is willing to address, because it's too controversial. From the murder of the Ukrainian woman in an American train, to the mass stabbing on the Huntingdon train, to the daily evidence we see on the streets of our biggest cities, the mental health crisis within black and certain other communities is an issue we can no longer ignore. We must have this conversation urgently without fear of causing offense. British lives depend on it. Yeah, but because people don't want to talk about it because of the fear of being offensive, oh, it's too controversial, they won't. And those British lives that depend on us talking about the truth are being lost. People are so scared of the truth, it's costing lives. We are literally importing a problem because we want to be so diverse. What? That diversity is not working out so well, is it? I mean, we are so diverse when it gets to a foreign neighbourhood, a black neighbourhood, people don't even want to live in there. That's how diverse we are. It's working out so well, isn't it? And talking about failed immigration, these next couple of stories I want to present to you guys are so frustrating. It is beyond belief. So let's start off with the first one. A dog walker who was knifed to death in Uxbridge is named as it is revealed. Afghan national arrested over triple stabbing had arrived in the UK in a lorry in 2020 and had been granted asylum. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Wayne Broadhurst, 49, died during the attack, which left 2 other people injured on Midhurst Gardens, Uxbridge in West London at around 5 PM on Monday. A 22-year-old Afghan, who remains unnamed, of course, is being quizzed by police who are holding him on suspicion of murder and attempted murder. Now let's move on to the next one. An asylum seeker who walked into a bank and stabbed a man inside to death without provocation or motive has been jailed for life. An asylum seeker who overstayed his leave to remain sexually assaulted 2 women while working illegally as a delivery driver in Maidstone. Now, let's be honest, these crimes didn't have to happen. People didn't have to lose their lives. Women didn't have to be sexually assaulted, and we are seeing those sort of stories every single day. But what happens? Oh, Stevie Wonder syndrome. Oh, no, we don't know what's going on over there. That's how the mainstream media, the liberals act every single time. Yet they want to encourage people coming in, which causes the problem. Look how insane those crimes are. Look how horrific they are. People are losing their lives due to failed immigration, due to allowing so many people in, and they don't even know who they are, where they're from, what their intentions are going to be. But oh no, we must allow everybody and anybody into the country because we've got to be diverse and we've got to allow everybody. People are losing their lives to crying out loud. And I don't know how many more stabbings, how many more rapes, how many more crimes have to happen before the British people in general wake up. These are happening on a daily basis. It's insane. It's disgraceful. And when you see the politicians in charge not address this, it's crazy. Because when a random black dude died in America in 2020 because of a police officer, which had nothing to do with us, oh, they were deeply upset. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Racism. They were down on one knee. They were talking about it for weeks. Yet people in this country are losing their lives. British women are being attacked. Crimes are happening on a bigger scale than ever before. And they don't want to address it. They don't want to use the same energy as they did for that random black dude that died in 2020. How does that make sense? We all saw the liberals as well. The activists in the streets protesting. Oh, BLM, Black Lives Matter. What about the people in your own country? I don't see them protesting in the streets because of what's happening right now in our country. Do you know what I do see from these very same people? When they do protest, they're holding up signs saying, oh, racism is bad, refugees are welcome. Mate, society is just effed up in this country. It really is. The priorities are so backwards, so backwards. When you allow leftist liberal ideology to take over a society, this is what happens. Because all they care about is virtue signaling. All they care about is diversity, no matter the cost. No matter the cost. Because if they had any common sense, any brain cells, they would look at what's going on and think, yeah, you know what, maybe we need to change things. Right now, maybe we shouldn't be advocating for anybody and everybody coming into the country. But no. A crime happens, somebody loses their life, a sexual assault happens, and they continue to go, oh no, we need people in the country. The downfall of the UK has been so heartbreaking to see, and it really does feel like it has been intensified over these last few months. This is a result over so many years, I guess, of political correctness, open borders, all the things I mentioned at the beginning. The word racism has so much control over a society. It's so weird. It's sinister. As soon as you say anything, people label you racist. That word racist and the fear of it has caused so much damage to society. Leave your thoughts down below, ladies and gentlemen. What are your thoughts on the state of the UK, England? I'd like to know. It's so sad to see these crimes happening so often. So often. If you have enjoyed, make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video, share this video, but until next time, it has been your host JD. Have a great day, stay safe, and I'm out. Peace.